this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the bulk import facilities to import from a spreadsheet a list of your customers, suppliers, and or employees. Now, the way this works is what you need to do first of all is you need to go onto any of the lists, so that's customer, supplier, or employee, and I'm going to go to the customer. On the customer list, for example, you'll see a button there called Import, and if I click on Import, we'll go from Import CSV screen, and the first thing you need to do is you need to go and get the template. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on Get the Template, and a template is going to download, which if I open up will show you the format that you need to use when you are using the upload facility. Now, the way this spreadsheet is laid out, it shows across the top a number of fields that you can complete, and depending on how you complete them, the system will know whether or not you are working with a supplier, a customer, or an employee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that one, and I'm going to use one that I've prepared earlier. So what I've done here is I've taken the template that was produced by Amanda and I've populated it with the data that I want to bring into the system. I'll just make those a bit bigger because you can see they are real numbers. And I would now go through all these fields and what you need to put in here, and I would refer you to the user guide that is available, which gives in great detail information of what you should and what you shouldn't put in here. Now, as far as these fields, some of them are mandatory and others aren't. So first of all, let's look at the title field. Now, there has to be an entry in every line of your spreadsheet in either the title or the company field. What happens here is if Amanda finds something in the title field, it will assume that that person or company or supplier is actually an individual, and the way the data is populated in Amanda will be slightly different whether the record relates to an individual or to an organization. So you can see in my spreadsheet I have got an entry in all of these fields for either a title or the company, and I'll just explain something here. Some of these rows have been hidden just to make it easier for you to look at, and that's because I have got 199 records in here, which I will be bringing all of these into Amanda. Now, as far as the name 1 is either the first name of the company or the surname of the individual. Name 2 is the company's second name or first name of the individual. Name 3, if you have another name, a third name for the company, you can put something in there, but it's not a mandatory field, so you don't need to worry about that. The address fields, we've got address 1, street, number is the number of the building if you haven't already included it in address line 1. Postcode of the contact, PB stands for PO box number, and if you do have an address that includes a PO box number, you don't need to enter the text PO box, just the number, and Amanda will do the rest. Now, canton, this is because Amanda is used in Switzerland, and in the UK we can use that for the county as shown there and the town in there. Now, ISO country is another mandatory field, and you must have GB in all of the records. Various telephone numbers, email, fax, type. This is another mandatory field, and as you can see, for the first 3 records we've got C for company, the next ones are E for employee, and the last ones are S for supplier. You can enter the web address for the organization, you can enter a Skype number a Skype name for the individual, and any notes that you want to enter in here. Now, the remaining fields at the moment are not currently used, so I'm not going to worry too much about those. So what you need to do is to populate this spreadsheet with your own data. Hopefully you may well have the data already in an Excel spreadsheet, and you can just cut and paste from your spreadsheet into the appropriate field in the Amanda template. Now, when you finish doing that, in order to export the data, let's just go back to our Amanda screen here. You'll see some notes up here. Line number of the tags. Now, what that means is which line has the headings. So normally you would have number 1 here, and that tells Amanda that everything below line 1 needs to come into Amanda. The column separators, now there's two column separators, so in a CSV file that stands for comma separated values, but there are other types of separators that you can use, and in Amanda you have two choices. One is a colon and one is a tabulation. Now the easiest one to use is the tabulation option, although I will show you what you need to do a semicolon separator as well. So we're going to do tabulation there. So make sure that in Excel that you save your record, and what you need to do, you need to save it as type of file. Make sure it says text tab delimited, as you can see there. So save that, and your file will be ready to go. So let's go back to Amanda. Dry run. If you do the dry run first, and I thoroughly recommend you do, what it will do, it will alert you if there's any errors. So I'm going to press upload CSV file. I then need to go and pick it, and as you can see, a message will come up saying whether or not it's been successful. And if for some reason it isn't successful, it's usually because you have not got one of the mandatory data fields completed, in which case Amanda will tell you what's wrong with it. So having now completed that, if I take the tick out of dry run and click on upload CSV file, let's go back and select it again. And as you can see, the little indicator here is telling us that Amanda is processing. You'll get a message showing when the import has been successful if you just click on that. And now if we go and look at our customer list, you'll see it's been populated with all this information that we entered on the spreadsheet. So let's look at suppliers, and you'll see the same. And lastly, let's look at employees. So look at the employee list. Oops. There. And as you can see, all the names have been brought in the correct format. And if you click on any of them, you will see all the contact data has been populated. So lastly, I said to you that I would show you how to create a semicolon separated CSV file. The reason why Amanda won't take the normal standard comma separated file is because obviously in these addresses there may well be some commas. So if we use the comma separated setting, it would screw up the addresses. So what you need to do is, if you need to create, for some reason, if you can't create a tab separated file, you need to go into your computer's control panel. You need to look for regional settings, which is in here. And then what you need to do is you need to additional settings. And then do you see here where it's got list separator? You need to change that from the comma to the semicolon, and I'm actually going to change it back. I'm going to try and change it back, and that's all you need to do. And then when you go back to your spreadsheet, apply, and then you do file, save as. This time you need to use the CSV setting there, and because you've changed it to semicolon rather than a comma, it will save in the right format. So that's how to use Amanda's import facility to bring in your contact details for all your customers, all your suppliers, all your employees in one go. Thank you for watching.